the Boston Bastard Brigade, On the Street Inc., Wicked Anime, and Black Compare proudly present Duck Amuck in Japan.
Bastards and wenches, welcome to another episode of Duck Amuck in Japan, episode 53, Muppet Donare. I am your King Baby Duck Evan Borgo, Mr. Ikebukuro, and the number one fan of Sanrio character, Big Challenges. Joining me, as always, is the creator of Salarian Sun, the king of all cat girls, and the hard man with hard opinions, AFLM.
Yes, that's me.
And we have the line block, we have the master of Tetris, the stupid awesome analyst, JonStar.
I'm watching Olympic hockey right now.
You're breaking your routine, dude. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to say, I am playing Tetris.
I know, but Japan is currently playing in women's hockey right now against Germany, and I cannot resist.
You know, no one's really talking about the Olympics here in Japan. Like, it's weird. It's like it's not even happening at all.
It's a shame. I am obsessed with the Olympics. I'm like a fair weather sports guy. Like, I could care less that the Super Bowl is happening this weekend and that the Patriots are in it. But I cannot miss the Olympics. And like we were watching, we saw the opening ceremonies last night, and I've been streaming curling for my students when it's been on. I actually streamed the first American or the USA versus who are they playing? Czechia women's hockey game for my students as well. Like, if it's on, I'm watching.
Okay.
I love the Olympics, dude.
I think, and this is my personal opinion, maybe like Japan is still feeling the burn after they hosted the 2020 or rather the 2021 Olympics without an audience there. So like it's like they just feel like, you know, no one bothered to show up because of reasons. So yeah, why should we bother like showing what's happening? If we win a gold medal, then that's fine. We'll talk about that. But like everything else, nah, screw the Olympics.
I will say that most Olympic hosting countries do not financially succeed economy-wise from it, but Japan in particular.
Nobody succeeds. No one ever recovers from it financially. Like, they lose billions of dollars a year, or rather, they lose billions hosting the Olympics.
Somebody who asked me, like, 2 years from now, are you going to go to the Olympics when they're hosted in LA? And I was like, you cannot pay me to go back to LA. It is the worst place I have ever been in my entire life.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same way when, because the whole idea of the Olympics is you're supposed to remake it up in tourism, because all the tourists will be like, oh, this is a nice place, let's go there. And then like you hold it in places like Brazil and France and, you know, all these like garbage places where it's just like, I don't want to come back here. I'm going to get robbed.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't have like the security of like the Olympics there and all the police that are like heightening the security, like it's the most dangerous place in the world. It's like, yeah it's not going to bring tourism there.
No. And they're, so we have a cousin who works out in Hollywood. He works at a movie studio, and they're like, we're 2 years away from hosting the Olympics. The entire world is going to be here. And he's like, where? Like, they have not started developing any Olympic villages yet. They have not started like doing any host locations. There is no word whatsoever other than, yes, the Summer Olympics are going to be in LA in 2 years. That's the only thing that has happened so far. So
yeah, and you know, I used to go out to LA every year to cover E3 when E3 was a thing, and I did go there once for Anime Expo back in 2019. But like, as someone who's gone there often, like, where can you build an Olympic village in LA? Where could you fit a new Olympic stadium in LA? It's like, it's all roads and buildings from like left and right, up and down. Like there's no place to put anything Olympic like there.
I'm putting my money on it right now. Olympic speed walking is going to be going around Rodeo Drive. Just the bougiest people swiveling their hips at Mach speed.
He's walking.
Or at that point, well, it's LA. It could probably turn into like speed rollerblading at that point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's all we can talk about regarding the Olympics. I'm not watching them. John's probably the only one here who's watching it. Are you watching them, Andrew?
I'll fair weather watch them. I forgot that. Believe it or not, I thought the opening ceremony was on Super Bowl Sunday, and so I heard it was all going on last night, and I was like, oh well, like, okay.
You didn't miss much. It was the okayest opening. The only reason why we had a good time is because the people who we had over last night we were like watching it while we were doing stuff, and like we kind of got to MST3K it a little bit and poke fun at some of the things that were happening. But like I love the parade of nations and like all those things. Like I love the ceremony stuff of the Olympics and
right. Yeah. So what you're saying is because there was no controversy with anything, like no one complaining, it was just it was all right.
Yeah, they weren't in France again.
Yeah, it was fine. I don't have a problem with Italy. I have some students who are from Italy, so
they like to make the pizza pie.
when Italy came out, you know how the hosting country gets to come out last in the parade?
Yes.
And their country gets to cheer for them. They came out to I forget what Italian song they came out to, but it was like a techno remix of like a Italian song that was basically just like
was it just the Godfather theme?
It could have been that, like if they wanted to. Like it was like they could have come out to It's Amore and it would have been like the same feeling, But like, and so we were trying to figure out what the U.S. is going to come out to when they do it in LA.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what they'll come out to.
Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus.
That's right.
Or Party Hard by Andrew WK.
Well, I could only hope, but it's probably either that or it's going to be something like completely wrong, like Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen, and they're like, dude, that's not what that song's about.
Yeah, please read the lyrics of that. It's not a patriotic song. But guys, good talk about the Olympics. But I was hoping to start things off on a good note about things in Japan. But I've got something bad to talk about here in Japan. So like this is something that really caught me off guard the other day. And in fact, it kind of left me shook. It left me very, very shook when this happened. So I'm at my school, and we're bringing the kids in to start the lesson. Everyone's sitting down. Everyone's getting quiet. And all of a sudden, one of the kids just utters one of the most horrific things I've ever heard in my life. One of the most terrifying things. Something I thought I would never hear a Japanese student ever utter.
Okay.
6, 7.
Oh wow! Cross borders now. That is terrifying.
6 or 7.
Like I know. In the West, it has been done to. It was done to death ever since it started. But by this time, right now, I reckon that 6 7s is completely gone. Correct?
I have not heard it as much as I did in September.
Okay, so Japan is like the last country apparently to get into the 6 7 craze.
It's from east to west.
Yeah, east to west. So
or west east. Sorry, west east.
Have either of you figured out what it means?
It's
it's just TikTok nonsense.
It is. It's slop. You know, like somebody said that in a video. It's like a part of a rap song or something like that.
No, it's not. I think because I think I saw dude. This is like the
kids.
ignorance of me being like not on TikTok and not caring about any of that garbage. But as far as I'm aware, it was just some high school student that did it and in a TikTok video, and then everybody started doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like some of my kids started talking about it, saying like, "Yeah, it's from a song." Like that's what they say. It's from a song, you know. So I think it was like a diss track, and then some high school kid did 6-7 in like a in a viral video on TikTok, and then all this kids started saying 6-7. Yeah.
All right, I do have a bit of a theory. I have a theory of what it like might mean, because like when I see the kids like do this, the whole balancing the 6-7s. Warning, trigger warning, just in case. I'm gonna talk about balls. So, you know how sometimes one of your balls hangs a little bit lower than the other one? So, like, one will hang at 6 and then one will hang at 7?
Okay.
So that's
never really
like,
thought of it that way before, but it could be that.
Yeah, like that's my theory. That's my theory. I've gone almost 17 years doing podcasting, and this is the first time I've ever had to talk about balls. So like, good job me having to wait or to go this long without having to talk about testicles on the show. So
yeah,
never again. Hopefully, never again. But I'll tell you, it did kind of traumatize me when the kid said it, because like when he said it, you know, I kind of felt like this.
I want to go home.
Yes. There I am, just crying, just all this crying.
You can't stop me from loving free run.
Yeah, exactly. So
I gotta watch the episode. Shit.
No, I watched the new episode last night, and I was just in love. I love this show so much. This show is so great.
So are you talking about the main episode, like the most recent one, like today's episode?
Episode 4, yeah.
Episode 4. So am I the only one who got like dating on the spectrum vibes from it?
Don't spoil it yet, but probably.
No, dating on the spectrum is way more awkward. Where I look at them and I'm just like, they're so cute. They're just the cutest things ever. And then dating on the spectrum is just like, I like their effort, but this is awful.
We met one of those guys. He came to the Solarian Sun booth at
a couple times
at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I met him a couple times at Comic-Con.
He's
Was
so
it
nice.
awkward?
No,
it's very awkward. But it was just cool to be like, oh, I know you. He's like, oh yes, thank you, you know, and did his weird like talking pattern thing, and I was like, yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so episode 53, Muppet Donare. We have a lot to talk about in today's show, and hopefully not spending too much time, because it is opposite day again. I'm in my pajamas, and these guys are already in their morning clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got dressed for the occasion.
Yeah. So before we begin, I do have a couple of shout outs. A couple of concerts I want to talk about that I went to. The concerts that some of my friends have done in the past couple of weeks. So big shout out to. So these aren't singers. They're my friends who do pole dancing and like burlesque dancing. So my friends Ayaka and Coco, who are also the dancers for the band Yeti Valhalla, they invited me to this show where they had pole dancing, DJs, and bands. The two bands being this like hair metal group called Railroad, who everyone looked like they've been in the band for like almost 40 years, but still had that love and spirit. And then this other band, I'm gonna try to remember, was Dotsuya Y Dawn, which was like a brand new visual K group, which was very surprisingly good. So the show was fun, But there was an incident at this show. Rather, there was
Somebody
a
said
rather interesting person there at this show. So this guy comes to the show and thought it would be really funny if he wore fishnet stockings and a G-string bikini to the show.
Yeah.
And like this guy was just, it did not work at all because two reasons. One, the dude had no ass. Like, remember the episode of The King of the Hill where Hank realizes that he has no ass? That. It was real life Hank Hill ass there. And the second thing is he did not know how to tuck it in on the front, so the entire time I'm seeing a wobble happening down there as he's bouncing around. Yeah, gross. Listen, there are cross-dressers and drag queens that have made it work, but like this dude, no. I wish I had like 2 chopsticks so I could just go.
Gross.
Other than that, a very good, fun show. Ayaka and Coco are 2 awesome people. The wild thing about Coco is like she's an amazing dancer, but she is short, and I'm like talking like half an inch from legally declared dwarf short.
Okay.
Like she's like, I think she's like 4'7".
Okay.
But when she dances, like you kind of forget that because she does a really good sexy pole dance. So, not to say that I'm an expert of knowing all things pole dancing, but from what I've seen, very good A+. Just about all the performers there were great. Super fun show. I'm actually going to be going back to Outbreak because Yeti Valhalla will be hosting a special like miniature metal festival there in March, and I'll be certain to talk about that when that happens. Mm-hmm. And then the other show I wanted to quickly talk about. So my friends Toy and Sawa Hiroko had a really nice like acoustic kind of show happening at this place called Strobe Cafe in Harajuku. Now, this was just off of the outskirts of, Takeshita Street? And Takeshita Street is notorious for being the most crowded street in all of Tokyo. This is where, like, all the foreigners go down because they want to see all the Harajuku fashion and the like. But, like, Strobe Cafe was one street over, down an alley off of Takeshita Street, and like it was practically dead. Like my advice, if you ever go down there to that street and you need a breather, just go down an alley quickly, just to get your composure back. But anyway, show was fun. My friend Sawa first performed, did an almost perfect set. But then she goes and starts to do her last song, and all of a sudden she gets this panicked look on her face. She forgot the lyrics to her own song.
Oh, I've seen that happen before.
Yeah.
Happen before.
Thankfully,
happens to the best of them.
Yeah. Thankfully, her percussionist like pulled out the song, and she's like listening. Okay, now I remember. And then she dives right back into it and like saves herself. But like watching this, like it made me realize like why a lot of performers these days have teleprompters, because like you never know when like you're just gonna have this like mind brain fart happen to you.
Yeah.
And then Toy goes on, beautiful, fantastic performance. What I like about both Sawa and the Toy vocalist, her name is Maki, they have this very free spirit vibe to them when they perform and sing. So like I like to say that they're like magical fairies when they perform. You know, so like Sawa is like the very beautiful, pretty fairy princess that sings like the best Disney songs, whereas Maki is like the more mischievous fairy that sings, because she likes to dance all around the audience, maybe jump on the chairs. Sometimes she'll rest her foot on someone's shoulder while she's singing. It's very entertaining. But she does the more mischievous songs that the kids love, while Sawa does the beautiful songs that all the ladies like. If that does, I don't know if this makes sense at all with what I'm saying about the show.
Sure does.
Okay, and then the main person who played his name is Dynamite Naoki, and I'll show a little bit of what his performances are like, just a smidge, just so I don't get that. So he's kind of like this one-man band kind of setup.
Oh, that looks fun.
Oh yeah. So like
Is he playing with a track?
Yeah,
along with his guitar.
Yeah, he's playing with a track along with the guitar. So like he's got the drum machine on the bottom, and like he's got it. He's like perfectly in sync with the whole drum machine.
I could have sworn that was Guitar Wolf when he started.
I mean,
playing.
he kind of looks like Guitar Wolf. He kind of has like the Kamen Rider scarf, so he kind of based more of his look on Kamen Rider before he transforms into Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he did a great set too. But the funny thing is, so he does 2 songs just like that whole super fast, hard rock and roll kind of style. And then he starts to perform, I kid you not, the song A Pirate's Life for Thee, or Pirate's Life for Me, from Pirates of the Caribbean, the Disney ride.
Yes.
And proceeds to do all the parts, all the voices, and all the different instrumentation. So he has the kazoo, the slide whistle, and he attempts to do like the flute part, but he can't figure out where the hole is, so he like turns it just into a fucking baton. So this goes on for 4 minutes, by the way. He does a 4-minute version of this, Pirate's Life for Me.
Yeah,
it is awesome. Like I'm laughing my ass off, and I'm just going, yo ho, a pirate's life for me. But the thing is, he's doing the Japanese version of it, and it's funny that people are hearing me do the English version of it.
Yeah.
So this guy was awesome. The show was fun. Great times. I may want to check out Dynamite Naoki another time in another show. I'd like to see him, because he's done shows with big bands and like actually full groups, but I don't know how often he does that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Seem kind of like the guitar for hire sort of dude.
Yes.
You know, who would play for an idol group in a live setting or something like that. I mean, not idol group necessarily him, but like the bands that do that they don't have like a set band. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the day after the show, and this leads to like the first big thing I wanted to talk about that I got to experience. So there's this huge Ghost in the Shell exhibition that's being held right now at Tokyo Node that's celebrating the 30th anniversary of the first Ghost in the Shell movie. And it showcases all things anime related to Ghost in the Shell.
Very cool.
So before you go up there, there's a cafe, and I'll talk a little bit more of the cafe in a bit. But at the cafe, they have these very special editions of the Tachikomas that were made by like 4 different artists. Like they like drew the different designs, and basically, apparently, you can actually like buy versions of these. So if you want to own one, you can, but it's gonna cost you a little money.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. So when you enter the exhibition, you're greeted to this area, which is modeled after the climax scene, the very almost final scene of the Ghost in the Shell, where all the wires are hanging down. And in this area, there are all these computers that are lined up where you can access like information about everything Ghost in the Shell. Like, you click on like one of the tens of thousands of little squares, and it pulls up a scene from any of the Ghost in the Shell animations, and it will show you the voice actors that are in the scene, the music, the song that's playing in the background, the script, and even the director of that scene.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
that is really like, this is already so much further beyond like a lot of the exhibitions you've been to.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know if it's even like humanly possible to look at every single thing that were on these computers. Like, because they're talking tens of thousands of clips from all the animations, because that's Ghost in the Shell, Innocence, Standalone Complex Season 1, 2, and the movie Solid State Society. Ghost in the Shell Rise, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2045. I think that is it for now. For it. And we'll talk a little bit. Yeah.
Are they doing this because of the new Ghost in the Shell that's coming out?
I think it's a mixture of that and, like I said, the 30th anniversary of the first movie, because that came out in 1995. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but back in the 90s, there used to be a CD-ROM magazine called Launch, and on Launch you could it had band interviews, movie trailers, original animations, and cartoons. And one of the Launch magazines had a clip from the Ghost in the Shell from 1995, and it's the scene where the guy is where Motoko is invisible, and the guy's trying to shoot her, and it's out of ammo, and just beats the crap out of him while she's invisible.
Shatters his wrist.
Yeah, shatters his wrist. They showed that.
I remember that.
That was my.
We just watched Ghost in the Shell the other day at work.
Really?
Oh, cool.
The original, the OG?
Yes and no. We watched 2.0, which was the 20th anniversary edition that came out.
That's the one where they replaced some of the animation with CGI, correct?
Yeah, and it was the most baffling thing to watch.
Yeah, it was bad.
Because you're like, oh, let's take all this beautiful hand-drawn art and recover it with gross, awful CGI, because all the stuff we drew is definitely worse than just putting slop CGI over it because it looks more modern. It was the worst thing ever.
Really?
Don't watch 2.0. Watch the original Ghost.
No, I know. Believe me. And thankfully, at the exhibition, they put more of an emphasis on the original, the actual animation ones. Which I don't know about you guys, but I've always felt out of all the animations, the first two seasons of Standalone Complex and the movie Solid State Society, those are my favorites.
Oh yeah, no, Gets is the Standalone Complex is definitely the. Oddly enough, even though it's not the original version, it is the best version of Ghost in the Shell.
I don't know. We grew up on Second Gig though.
Well, that's part of it.
That's Standalone Complex.
I thought that Second Gig was I thought it was its own not sidebar thing, but it was.
No, it's just the second season of
it's just season 2.
Complex.
Season 1 was The Laughing Man, and I don't remember what was season 2. What was the villain in season 2?
I don't remember either.
Because it's called Standalone Complex because there are the standalone episodes, and then there's the complex episodes, which follows the big storyline.
Is that really why they call it that?
Yep.
Huh.
Yes. So going into it, they had the original prints and the original pencil tests and such of the movie of Ghost in the Shell, and unfortunately I do have to censor it a bit. That's why Elsie from The World God Only Knows is crying, because I have to censor everything. So they had the original prints, they had the original hand-drawn, hand-painted cells there.
So cool.
Yeah. And they also had, all the storyboards as well. And there was also an area where you could even dig through and look at even more of the original prints, like go hands-on with them, but it costs a little extra more money for it. So on top of all of this too, they even had some artists that did some special like artworks for the exhibition. One of which is Hajime Sorayama, who have made like who's famous for all of his sexy robot pictures. Like So if you've ever listened to Aerosmith and you know their album Just Push Play, Hajime Sorayama designed that album cover work with his famous sexy robot girls. And this is a variation of the Motoko Kusanagi version. And again, I did have to censor this.
Is it technically nudity? I don't know.
I have to be super careful, dude. Like, I have to be very careful. You never know with, like, Twitch and YouTube. It takes just one it takes one concerned mother to, like, ruin it for everybody. There's an area, too, where I could become the laughing man. So, like, there's me, like, with the laughing man symbol there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And like I said, they had all these different storyboards for like Standalone Complex and all the movies, and I found the storyboard for what is my favorite episode of season 1 of Standalone Complex, and it's an episode that I fully believe should be its own movie someday, and it's an episode where Tachikoma goes out and just explores the world on its own.
I remember that
one.
Yep. And it's the one where she where it like helps the little girl find her dog. Yep. Like, I remember watching this episode and be like, I want a whole movie of this. Just a whole film of the Tachikoma exploring wherever, Tokyo, the city, wherever it takes place, with a couple of kids and just learning what it means to be human. Because that's what happens throughout, like, the series is like the Tachikomas slowly start to get, sentinel, or if that's the right word.
Sentient.
Sentient, yeah.
They become sentient. Yes, they become more sentient. In fact, like, at the end of each episode of Standalone Complex, that's the joke, is like you have all the Tachikomas meeting up and they're talking about what it means to become a human. And yeah, it was good. And they had one scale model, like these are the actual 1-to-1 scale models of the Tachikomas.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they have my favorite, the blue one, and then there's the red one. I forget which is this from the movie or is it from one of the other series?
No, the movie only had a tank.
Okay. All right. And one of the other art exhibitions that was being showed off, so artist's name is Emi Kusano, and she did Ego in the Shell, which she took real footage from her life, I believe, like childhood footage, put it into AI, and was able to like tell a story of sorts of Motoko Kusanagi from childhood all the way up to her impending death. And all the little TVs there.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now, Emmy is actually a friend of mine, and she, for those who have been listening to Boss and Bash Brigade and No Borders No Race and Duck Amuck for a long time, she was once the front woman of a band called Satellite Young. I don't know if that rings a bell or not, guys.
It does not. No.
Really? Okay, so like they did they were an awesome 80s style synthwave Japanese pop group. Mm-hmm. But ever since then, she's become a bit of a fashion model and designer and an artist that tinkers with AI. She's very amazing at what she does. I've sent her an open invitation to one day come on the show to talk about her stuff. So if she does, be prepared for a very interesting show about art and artificial intelligence.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, at the end of the exhibition, they showed sneak peeks of The Ghost in the Shell, the brand new series that's coming out in July, Science Saru. Have you guys seen the trailer for this?
A little bit, yeah.
I did not. I know that it exists, but I did not see the trailer.
Oh, well, you're in luck, because here we go. So this is the trailer. Yeah.
Yep.
Looking good.
Well, it's all the original designs.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks more like the original book.
Exactly. So the Ghost in the Shell is actually going to stay true to the original manga, because Mamoru Oshii took some liberties in the movie and with the sequel Innocence. If you read the manga and watch the movie, they're like almost two totally different stories. In fact,
Yep.
the Ghost in the Shell manga actually has a lot of comedy in it too, which was like ripped out of the Ghost in the Shell movie.
Oh, the Ghost in the Shell movie is like, it's almost not even fun to watch. It's so like dark and depressing, yeah, but like the whole idea is like, what makes a human is if you remove too much of your body, like, is and your consciousness still exists, like, do you use it, like, blah blah, like all that stuff, like that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And you know, the what's his name, the puppeteer, the puppet master, I forget
Puppet
what the
Master.
guy's-
Yeah, it was the Puppet Master.
yeah, like he's like he was never actually a human. He was just like a rogue AI that escaped and then just started taking over people's shells because everybody, you know, has computers in their brains, and it was just weird. It was a bizarre, like, existential movie for like 2 hours, you know, and
Yeah.
and then like Motoko merges in the net, and like it's kind of like a weird ending for Motoko. I think that's why I prefer Standalone Complex, because Motoko is kind of weird in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
It's weird.
and she's kind of more of a character in Standalone Complex, even though I wouldn't call her normal, because she doesn't know what it's like to be human anymore, because she basically isn't one.
Right.
But then again, that's the philosophical question that it asks of
Yes.
the entire series.
Of course. I want to point out, too, in the credits, you'll notice in the soundtrack or the music section, the name Yuki Kanesaka. And Yuki Kanesaka worked on the soundtrack to the series Dr. Stone. Hey, boys, who do we know that worked on the Dr. Stone soundtrack? And that's all I'm going to say right now. That's all I'm going to say. I got a question for you guys. Have either of you ever sat down and watched the live-action Ghost in the Shell movie with Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson.
I have not.
Charlize Theron did Aeon Flux. And Scarlett Johansson did. Yeah. I'm still kind of curious to watch it, even though I know it's not that good. The fact that Beat Takeshi or Takeshi Kitano is in the movie, like, still like makes me go like, maybe it has some good parts to it, because he is a guy who's super picky about the films that he's in.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. That was during the era where everybody was super cautious about, like, other countries' media being taken over by America, and like it was never good. Like, it was never a good result. It was in the Dragon Ball Evolution era.
No, it was far after that.
Far after that.
Was it really? It seems like such a blur to me now.
I think it was 2016 or 2017 when Ghost in the Shell came out.
Yeah, it was actually back during like when they were trying to make Cowboy Bebop a live action thing.
Was it?
We all know how that turned out.
Recent? It feels so long ago.
Then again, we're talking 2016. This is 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know, but the fact that, like, if it was around the era that Cowboy Bebop was put on Netflix, that's
10 years ago, back in 1998, which was 10 years ago.
yeah.
So, guys, do you want to own a big 1-to-1 scale model of Motoko Kusanagi?
Yes.
Don't even ask, just bring it.
I do. Yes.
Do you have 1.7 million yen?
Probably. I mean, if you do the math, it probably.
Yeah. Again, I had
Won't
to
be able to
censor
get a
one of the
mortgage, but-
statues.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the one on the right isn't 1-to-1. It's like kind of like this big, but yeah, it's still pretty gorgeous. Anyways, after I did this exhibition, I went down to the cafe and I had the Tachikoma Blue Hawaii drink, which came, as you can see, there's a little coaster there with the Tachikoma, which I brought home with me. And I had the Ghost in the Shell burger. And yeah, they were pricey, but I will say, for a burger, it felt like it really was worth the $20 it cost, because it was like this big of a burger. It was stacked.
Yeah.
They actually like worked hard on the burger.
Does a Ghost in the Shell burger, like, is it made a Ghost in the Shell burger because it's not made with any human?
I mean,
Is a burger still a burger?
I really want to make a very a current events joke about that, but I do not want to. No.
Is a burger still a burger if it's just a shell of a burger?
I'm certain it's real meat. I'm certain it's real meat. But all in all, it was great. Like, this was a cool exhibition. It's going on until the beginning of April. If you have the opportunity, go down to Toronto Hills, Tokyo Node, and check this out. It is awesome. If you love Ghost in the Shell, or do check it out.
I'll go there tomorrow.
If only dude. Again, like, I wish American museums and like exhibition places would do stuff like this for you guys. Like, I wish like they would do this for like comic books, like American comics. I wish they would do it for American animation, but like I don't know why. I don't know why like the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston just can't have a Spider-Man exhibition or a Batman exhibition or some sort of American comic exhibition. Now, speaking of things of animation, this does lead to a bit of a serious topic. So apparently, the folks over at Adobe were looking at their Animate app, and we're like, you know what? No more Adobe Animate app. We're gonna be done with it. We're no more updates. We're gonna get rid of it completely.
What if we made everything worse again?
Yes. And people were pissed.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
just like regular people. We're talking about industry people, because apparently a lot of cartoons in America and in the West still use Adobe Animate to animate. And
Yeah, Smiling Friends being one of them.
Yeah.
There's shows on Netflix that use it.
And
Man, that'd be such a loss if we couldn't get animated shows on Netflix anymore. Oh my god,
that
would be a horrible loss.
hey, the Ghost in the Shell is gonna be a Netflix anime. So be careful with how you say that.
That's an anime. That's Japanese people making stuff. I don't care what they do.
Christine and I actually very much enjoyed Haunted Hotel, which is a terrible name for a show, but the show itself was really awesome. It came out last year on Netflix. It was actually really funny.
All right. But the backlash was so bad that Adobe was like, hey, we're just kidding, guys.
Yeah, JK lol.
Just joking.
Yeah, so, but to put a little bit more of a spin on this to why everybody was so upset, it was because on February 2nd, they said, on March 2nd, you will no longer be able to buy Adobe Animate. Like, they were just like, hey, guess what, guys? It has lived its life. It has had a good run, but we're not gonna have Adobe Animate anymore for some reason. And they said, so in 1 month you will not be able to buy it, and we're gonna stop servicing it. And then in 1 year, exactly 1 year from now, like March 19th, 2027, you all of your FLA files, all of your SWF files, none of those are going to work anymore on any system ever. And so like you have 1 year to pack up your stuff and get out. and like it was just an absolutely baffling statement of how disconnected you can possibly be from your audience who owns your product. Like, how are you so disconnected from something that you own as artists to also then say the reason why we are getting rid of Adobe Animate is so that we can focus more on AI apps? As to which they were saying, isn't it great, animators? You don't have to do the thing that you love to do anymore. You don't have to be passionate about your art anymore. AI can do it for you, and that's what we want to do for you. And everybody was like, we hate that idea, Adobe. But on top of that, there was another point I wanted to make, and it's just slipped my mind now. It'll come back to me.
This is the company that forces you to pay, and independent artists to pay like $50 a month to subscribe to their system, and then if you want to leave, they force you to pay to leave. Like, you have to pay like a $30 exit fee to unsubscribe from Adobe.
Dude, I have Photoshop on my computer right now. I can't even use it anymore. Like, it does not let me use Adobe Photoshop because it's too old of a version.
So that is something that is going to be a problem someday, right? Like, I had to come up with, like, we use Adobe Animate in my animation class at school, and so now I have to come up with an alternative program because we have maybe 3 years tops before we get to a point, because they're not servicing Adobe Animate anymore still. Like, they're going to leave it available to buy and open, but in 3 years, once your processor like becomes too new for the system, you're not going to be able to run Adobe Animate anymore.
Right, which is why Adobe Photoshop can't be used on my computer right now because my processor is too new.
Right. My father-in-law, who's been a photographer for almost 50 years, he has had Adobe CS6 on his old Mac computer for decades, essentially now. And he has left his Mac at the version of his computer that allows you to run it. He has not run an update. He's turned off automatic updates. He has not run an update on his Mac computer in like almost 15 years because he would lose CS6 and he would have to pay for cloud. Since then, the computer has gotten so old, we've had to move it, and he's moved to another product. He can't use Adobe anymore. He doesn't use any Adobe products.
Yikes.
I mean, I abandoned Adobe a long time ago. I mean, I've been using exclusively Clip Studio for at least 6 years. No, I'm sorry, more than 6 years, 7, 8 years. Like, so almost a decade. I've abandoned Adobe entirely, and I'm using Clip Studio, and I've never looked back. It is like everything you want to do in Adobe. Like, yes, Adobe has better like paintbrush technology to make it more accurate of what you want to do, but you can still do everything you want in a roundabout way in Clip Studio. But me as a comic book creator, not only does Clip Studio make it easier to do things, but I can still design all the things that I want to do in Clip Studio. You just have to find the perfect workarounds for it. Yeah. And Adobe's business model is so embarrassing.
Yeah.
As what it is, because they're not artists. It used to be made by artists, but now it's just overhauled by, you know, producers and whoever.
Dudes in suits. It's overhauled by dudes in suits who have never picked up a pen their entire life.
Yeah, and they're all interested in AI. And
that was
where I know AI is obviously a pretty hot button topic. Like, I'm not one of those stick my nose in the air to AI, like, because everything's bad. It's really kind of ignorant to just say everything's bad about AI. Because it's not. Is it, what the heck? Is it lazy when somebody basically like generates something and says, I made this. Yeah, that's not art. Like you are objectively wrong. You didn't make art.
Right.
Is it good to use AI as a tool to assist your art instead of scrolling endlessly through Pinterest to look for things? You can just generate your own reference. Then you redraw, like you're still drawing. You're just asking it for inspiration and reference. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Adobe is basically making it so that because what they're trying to do is Adobe wants to make companies, like they want companies to use their product, and companies see time as money.
Yeah.
And so Adobe is now saying, hey, advertising firm, hey, actually they're probably mostly aiming towards advertising firms, let's be honest.
Yeah, probably.
They're saying, you made this graphic in like 2 seconds. Now let Adobe AI finish everything for you, and you can make your advertising graphics way faster.
Yep.
And companies will say, that's awesome. I also don't know how to do art, Adobe. Like, let me make my artists lose completely everything creative. It's like working for the video game industry. Hey, do you want to get all the creativity sucked out of you, everything that you love about creating? Go work for the video game industry. You know, go work for the advertising industry. We'll just make you use AI.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted to go independent, because regardless of whether AI takes over or not, I can still put pen to paper and make my comic book. Nobody can fire me.
The other thing that they said too, we were like, but what about animators who want to actually animate? They were like, well, you can use Adobe After Effects. As to which the best response I saw online was like, asking animators to use Adobe After Effects is like saying that you want to make a steak, but you only have a toaster. It will work, but it's not going to be great.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, so that was the thing. It was like, well, we're leaving you Adobe After Effects, you know.
Yeah,
Shut up.
It's
so
really embarrassing. The fact that because I see this on Twitter all the time too. There's the AI bros on Twitter. The number one argument I've seen is, yeah, but I don't have the skills to do this stuff, and it's so great.
Learn them.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, like because I just woke up one day and could just do it. Like I had to put years of my life into this, and had to put hundreds of thousands of hours into this. Like I couldn't just do it. In fact, I was a terrible artist in college. In fact, I'm still a terrible artist. Like, and I just can't stand the notion of like, well, I don't have the skill to do it, therefore I want AI to do it for me, and therefore I'm doing it. It's like, no, you're not.
Get good.
Yeah.
Yeah, get good, fool.
It's practice. Like you got like the fact that I can't stand the people being like, well, I'm not creative enough to do this. I want AI to do it for me. Yeah, that's cool, but don't call yourself an artist because you're not.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that they decided not to get rid of it, but like you said, John's like it's gonna be 3 years, and it's going to become obsolete. You're not going to be able to use it on newer computers. It's not going to.
It's their.
I feel bad. I feel bad for a lot of these people. Dude, what's Smiling Friends going to do now? Like, what are those animators going to do?
I got to be honest with you. Like, I think that the program that I'm probably going to end up using is Blender. Blender has a 2D animation thing, and it's free. You know. And it's not that hard to use. It might be a little bit more difficult for my students to get used to the ins and outs of using Blender, and I might need to do a couple extra steps in order to tell them how to use it properly. But it's free, and two, like it still works for industry people. They will be able to transition into Blender seamlessly. I believe so. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, they can make an Oscar-winning movie out of it. So,
yeah, that was 3D, but yeah, you can use Blender. Like Blender is actually legitimately becoming an industry standard tool. And like, part of me is thinking, do I also move my game design class over to Blender as well, because that is becoming more and more prevalent, and it's a whole bunch of things that I need to figure out as an educator to do. So That's my struggle right now.
I'm sure you'll figure it out, John. I'm sure you will figure it out.
Embarrassing.
All right, let's move on to something hopefully something a little bit more positive. Let's talk about some music. One of my favorite bands, Akaikurage, which is Japanese for red jellyfish, just released their brand new album, Donare, which is Japanese for boom! And for those who want to hear what Akaikurage sounds like, well, here you go.
Very experimental.
Yeah. Voice of an angel, am I right?
Yeah, that wasn't even my favorite track from the album.
So that's actually a remake. So the band re-recorded that song. It's one of their early first songs that they made almost 7 or 8 years ago. 9 years ago when they first started, and they re-recorded a brand new version of it. And it's funny because there is a music video of that original version, and their vocalist, the guitarist Natsuki, looks totally different from how she looks now. She has shorter hair. She doesn't have the makeup, none of the stuff in her hair. It's interesting how she looks now is exactly, it fits perfectly with how she sings and how she sounds, because she's basically a 2D anime twin-tailed character brought to life, and that's what makes me love her so much.
That was not the image that I had in my head when you said she dresses exactly like how she sings. I was like, she looks like a hobo? I don't know. That's not I'm sorry, that is actually not meant to be an insult. I very much
No. I meant more the hair and the makeup. She looks like an evil, menacing, twin-tailed anime character. And it matches with their voice. So I've seen them live a couple of times. The first time I saw them live, they opened up for my friend Sushi Mamire last year, and I loved them so much that I went and saw them at their one-man show. And that's the clip I just showed is actually from the one man that I went to. And okay, so for people who don't know, one man is solo show. So they basically have the stage all to themselves, and they perform for 90 minutes or 2 hours. I think they did a 2-hour show, and it was super fun. And this is their brand new album, Donare. 9 tracks, 8 of them brand new, 1 a remake. Like I said, Idea is a remake of it. I love the sound. This is kind of the punk rock sound that I really enjoy the most. And not only from Natsuki's unique singing voice, that growl, kind of like a female Alice Cooper, if that makes sense at all. She's kind of got that kind of Alice Cooper kind of voice when she sings, that evilness in her voice that makes it enjoyable.
I don't know how she keeps it up. To be honest with you,
so maybe that's why in one of the other songs that she does, Doki Doki, she's got that she sings in her more normal voice, and she does have a very pretty voice when she sings normally, like she does in Doki Doki, but she sounds a lot like most other Japanese female rock singers, and it's why when she does that kind of voice like this, it's that's her. That's the unique aspect of akaikurage, because not a lot of women sing like that.
That is, that's the thing that captured me, right? It was okay, this is actually different, when I was listening to it. So it hooked me. Was, the sound certainly was a hook, and it worked.
What was your favorite song off of the album?
I think if I had to think back, it was at the beginning. It was either Endless or Jare I, but I don't remember. I only got to listen through the whole thing once, and usually it's better when I listen to albums twice. But I only got to listen through it once because of how this week went. But yeah, it was at the beginning of the album. But it was a really strong opening to the album, like up through the end. I actually thought that the whole thing was really enjoyable to listen to the whole way through. But it is kind of funny because like it got to Doki Doki and I was like, well, okay, so Doki Doki is kind of like a pretty overused phrase in Japan. And then the singing style was also kind of like a very run-of-the-mill style of singing. And so while it stood out because it was different from the rest of the album and everything like that, I was like, if this song was on any other album in any Japanese band ever, it would have just been white noise.
Right.
But because they put Doki Doki in the middle of an album that sounds the way that it does, it's different.
And I'm pretty certain lyrically it's different from any other love song, because if you ever read like the lyrics to a lot of their songs, they're dark, they're brutal, they're in your face. They're a band that like sticks their middle fingers up with pride while they sing. So yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if Doki Doki had that kind of attitude to it secretly.
I actually meant to look up what like the lyrics were, because like that actually is a good majority of my enjoyment of any music at all is like really understanding the lyrics to it. So yeah, I did not get to do that either. So
nice. It's okay. It's okay. Andrew, did you listen to it at all?
Nope. I did not. I didn't get a chance.
It's okay. It's all right.
It was a busy week.
At least John listened to it, and I'm glad that you liked it. I'm glad you had fun listening to it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the listen to. So Andrew, like, still listen to it. I would say, like, because it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. So akaikurage, Donare. I believe you can get it on Bandcamp in America. So if you want some good Japanese punk, I recommend it. I will be seeing them live next month. They're playing, I think it's a Shibuya Cyclone, with the band Bleach. And Bleach was actually one of the earliest bands that I started listening to like 20 years ago when I was getting into the Japanese music scene. Very like noisecore kind of punk rock sound of Bleach. So they're playing together with akaikurage, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing that show.
Nice.
All right, so let's go to Wicked A Cinemas, and we'll talk about some movies that have come out recently. Since I talked about the first one last time, I figure I'll mention that I did see 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which is
Bone Zone.
The Bone Zone. And I do have to give them credit because like when it came to advertising this movie, because they didn't do the thing that I was worried about, and that is give away what happened in the first 28 years later film. They still left things out in like a bit of a mystery as to like who Ray Fiennes' character is and what it is that he really does. The thing I liked about The Bone Temple is that it returned to the roots of the second half of 28 Days Later, which is where it showed what's the real threat. And the real threat is the survivors, the people who will do anything to survive. And this movie follows mostly the character of Jimmy, whom you see in the beginning as a child in the first film, as his family are being attacked by the undead as he is watching Teletubbies on TV.
Oh, jeez. I don't know what's more terrifying.
So the second film follows him and his gang, which he calls the Seven Fingers. And one of the main characters from 28 Years Later has joined them reluctantly because, if he didn't join them, they were going to kill him. So one of those shogunai situations. And the film touches on an aspect that I never thought that the 28 Years series would do, and that is an actual legit cure for the rage, a cure for the virus. And one character in this film actually gets this close to finding a way to snap whatever you want to call them, the zombies, the undead, the infected, out of that sort of mentality and start acting like a normal human being again. It is in my opinion, it is a very good movie. It's even though that Danny Boyle didn't direct this one, because they made this back to back. I forget the woman who directed The Bone Temple, but she managed to still capture Danny Boyle's usual filmmaking style in The Bone Temple. And it's making me look forward to, hopefully, the third part of the film, which, not to spoil anything too much, brings the whole franchise full circle back to the first movie.
Oh, wow.
So, really enjoyed it. I don't know how it's doing at the box office in America or the rest of the world.
Dude, they didn't even advertise it.
Yeah, we
Which is
didn't know it was
shocking.
out.
There were no trailers. There was no nothing. I was shocked to hear that you were going to go see it because I was like, oh, it's out? Like, I didn't understand that it was even coming out. That's why I thought it like had a Japanese release first.
Yeah, it's out. Definitely go and check it out because I really hope that if it's successful or not, we'll get that third and hopefully final film that ties everything together. So, please check it out. 28 Years Later at a Bone Temple. Which leads me to another kind of gross film, kind of horror, a little bit more comedy. Finally, the remake of the Toxic Avenger has arrived.
I wouldn't say a little bit more comedy. I would say a lot, definitely a lot more comedy. I feel
A
like
lot
this
more
vibe-
comedy. So, like, this film has been in the process of being made. It was made in like 2023, all done. It was put through film festivals where it got praise, but never got an official release until I think like late last year when it like snuck it into theaters. And I'm a big trauma guy, and I love the original movies. And I personally felt that this new version with Peter Dinklage captured enough of the spirit of the original.
I agree. And I'll take it from another angle is that I seldom enjoy trauma films. I have not really found any enjoyment in the ones that I've watched. In some cases, like Toxic Avenger was a little different.
Yes.
And I think lightning struck with that film in particular. But I think that they did capture a sort of spirit that was on here. I think the major difference between this one is that instead of shooting on location, which they did in original trauma films where they had to actually find locations for this one was very clearly on a set. But it definitely played to the artistic style of the film itself to make it look like everything was basically like action figures playing like kids playing with action figures in a way, you know.
Right.
Where quite literally they took a toy box and dumped it out with all of their characters because like every character was so different in like this Dick Tracy kind of way.
Yes.
And it was very funny. It's a very funny film, and I love Elijah Wood.
Yes, Elijah Wood was so good in this movie. It's like he's playing like Frodo, but if he was slowly turning into
Smeagol. Yeah.
Smeagol.
Yeah. No,
and I do have to give props to them to Peter Dinklage because like I love Peter Dinklage. He's a great actor. I've been following him for 2 decades, and I never would have expected him to do a movie like this in a million years. But he played it so well, like whether it was like the tragic aspect of like what's going on with his body and the sickness and all that, trying to be a good dad to his stepson. But then just when he turns into the Toxic Avenger, he just goes full throttle into the schlock and violence. And it's just the fast food scene. Like, I just could not get enough of that fast food scene.
Did you see, though? Like, I looked at the IMDb page, and I don't think Peter Dinklage got into the makeup. There's a different actor.
Yeah, so that's one of the downsides, is that he didn't do the makeup part. Which, to be fair, in the original Toxic Avenger, the original Melvin didn't get into the makeup either. So it's kind of still playing to how the original Toxic Avenger was made.
Got it. Okay. All right. That makes a little bit more sense to me. Yeah. I was confused by that. Part of me was like, wait, Peter Dinklage is too good to get into makeup. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Which I do have some problems with Peter Dinklage myself. Like, he is a fantastic actor, but like outside of Hollywood, I have some issues with his views on actors guilds and letting little people who want to play the parts.
Yeah, he literally ruined an entire demographics careers.
He was part of the reason why Snow White, the live action version, was so bad, I'm sure.
Well, to be fair, the live action Snow White was going to be bad either way, whether it was live action dwarves or CGI dwarves. But I really enjoyed this film. It's a film that really paid homage to the Troma style, all the way down to when the concert scene, and then Toxie shows up and he starts singing Motorhead, and which pays homage to Lemmy, who played the President of the United States in Class of Nukem High. Mm-hmm. So like there's like these little nuggets here and there, and I believe there's like a Poultrygeist homage. I was trying to find if there was something that was like a wink to Sergeant Kabuki Man. But like you could tell that they put so much love into this film. Like they love Troma, and they even though it's got a much bigger budget than Troma's ever had, they still wanted to tell a story that would have felt true to what Lloyd Kaufman would have done. And he shows up as a cameo too in the movie, so it's like he has his seal of approval.
I was looking for all the Troma bits as well, like as I was watching, because I knew that it was going to happen. Like I knew for a fact that they were going to do that for the film, and so I was keeping an eye out for everything. And I think the thing that I love about the movie too is that in every aspect of the film, it's so vile, and there are times in when we watch films that go like, oh wow, that was super unnecessary, but in this film you watch it and you're like, oh, the reason why they're doing all this is because it's so unnecessary. Like they're playing into that, and you can feel it as they're doing it, and it totally works out. Very, very good film, very enjoyable, very fun.
Yeah. My only complaint I think for it is so there is this running gag in the Troma movies where like there's a car that like flips over like twice, and it's a clip that they use over and over and over again in every Troma film. I was hoping to see that happen towards the end. It's like it never showed up. That was my only disappointment, because it's my favorite running gag in all the Troma films. So but yeah, check it out. It's on Hulu. It's super entertaining. Like I'm so glad it finally came out.
I love the little bits too when like in the script where they have characters, where they'll do things like they'll be delivering their line and then they'll be like, what? Oh yeah, and like like they'll have like these little breaks where you're not sure whether or not it was like a flub and they just kept it in, and like it seemed like it was just a fun set to work on.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I could say the same about this. The Running Man.
Edgar Wright.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay.
An abysmal Edgar Wright failure.
Yeah. Okay. let me first say some things that I did like about the film. I did like the world of it. I like the fake commercials that you saw of the film. It really like did a good job with showing just how messed up of a place Earth has become, with people just so like in need of like this sort of carnage and entertainment of sorts. And like for the first half of the film, like I was entertained by what was going on. But then
there's a good movie somewhere in here.
Yeah, and like for the first half, there's a good movie. Like I was really getting into the characters. I was getting into the situations. But then the third act hit, and it's like as soon as he gets in the car with the woman and kind of takes her hostage, like that's when everything in this film just went completely wrong.
Well, here's the way that I described the movie after it was done. Is I said, I've never seen a movie where so much happens and I'm bored. And because it's like nonstop something is happening, but it's just the worst thing you've ever seen. Because there's a problem with William. So it's the same problem, right? William H. Macy's character, the woman in the car, and then there's another one. There's a third character. But basically, they introduce 3 different characters that are in the movie for 15 minutes each.
Yeah.
And it's like, are they a part of the movie? Oh, no, they're not part of the movie. Why are they trying to get me to care about them? Oh, I've forgotten about them because they moved on to the next character. It happens 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, there's one character per act, and they try to make you care about it, but you're like, but I don't care about this person because you literally just introduced them, and you're trying to make me have feelings for them and for Ben Richards, and I just don't. Like, I don't care about any of these characters, and it was such a confused movie.
Yeah.
It didn't know what it was doing or where it was going the entire time.
And like like I said, like at the first half of the film, like I was rooting for Ben Richards. Like I was hoping for the best for this character. But as soon as it got to the part where like he boards the plane and like they're taking him someplace and then like okay, I'm gonna spoil the movie because I really don't give a shit. It's like
Not a good movie.
It's not a good movie. The part where he's led to believe that his wife and daughter were killed, like that whole part is like I started losing interest to the point where it's like I almost shut the movie off because it was pissing me off. It was like you had a good idea, you had a good concept here, like all you had to do was like do what the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie did.
Yeah,
but like just modernize it just a little bit.
Yeah,
I think
it was so easy.
Yeah, I think that's what's so baffling about the movie, right? Is because this is based off of a Stephen King short story.
Technically, Richard Bachman.
Right, it's his pseudonym, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's basically a Stephen King short story. The Arnold Schwarzenegger version has absolutely nothing to do with the book. This one has a little bit more to do with the book, but still not really. Mm-hmm. But the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is still like the superior movie.
Of course. And this is the second time this has happened. And it's happened with Total Recall. The Schwarzenegger version is so much better than the
even though it has nothing to do with the book.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Total Recall is the same way, where it has nothing to do with the book, but it's just a cool Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah.
And it's baffling, dude.
Yeah, and then the Colin Farrell one, which actually follows the book, sucks.
Yeah, that's an awful movie.
Yeah.
But then you can also look at it this way, too, that the inferior book adaptation of Scott Pilgrim is an Edgar Wright film.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like it's different. So when you have a Snyder film and Snyder takes somebody else's idea and he runs with it, it's amazing. And when he has his own idea, it's mediocre.
Except for Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is awesome.
Edgar Wright.
Always be awesome.
Edgar Wright has his own idea, and it's amazing. Although I heard Last Night in Toho wasn't really all that great, but it was interesting. But then you give him a book or you give him somebody else's idea and it falls flat.
Which is interesting because like he left Ant-Man and like the things that he wrote in Ant-Man that stayed were actually pretty good. But like I feel like if he had stayed on, it might not have been. Again, it's the situation where it's like Marvel wants him to make a Marvel movie. They don't want him to make an Edgar Wright film. And that's like the big mistake.
He probably like had no interest because they wanted total creative control over what they wanted him to do.
Yeah.
Which is why Lord and Miller also lost that Star Wars film that they were doing.
Yeah, Han Solo. And like
right.
Yeah, the Han Solo.
I fell asleep during that movie.
Right. I stopped watching it 30 minutes of it. I like 30 minutes of the film is like this makes no sense. It's all over the place. It feels like it's like 3 different films that are trying to make one narrative, and it just failed completely.
Masturbatory fan film. Anyways, but The Running Man, I did not see it, and I've been told not to. Many times, like not just you guys, but on many occasions, I've been told not to see it. And Edgar Wright is my favorite director of all time. He's made my favorite movie of all time, Hot Fuzz.
Right, which we had in our top 10 comedies of all time show. Yeah,
all 3 of us had it somewhere in our list. Mm-hmm. And I think that Edgar Wright is very creative. I think that he is one of the best visionary directors of all time. And it's just unfortunate that sometimes he's handed a script that is unfixable.
Well, I think that was another issue with the film is there are a few shots in the movie that you can tell like, oh yeah, this is an Edgar Wright film. He does. There's quite a few times where he does his like quirky camera work and his creative transitions, like sound effects being a transition to another scene or a camera wipe that wipes into another camera like in a hard cut. There are some things in the movie that remind you, oh yeah, like he does that kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. But overall, there's a lot of very forgettable moments that make you forget that this is an Edgar Wright film. Like it doesn't even look like his kind of a film.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that they always kept harping on, and the thing that I've seen most from the movie is the elevator sequence, right? The one where he runs down the hallway. They have a one-shot drone shot where he slides into the elevator and then he throws a grenade or whatever. And that was like the money shot of the film to get butts in seats. And I've seen that clip maybe over 20 times now. And I'm like, it's not really that exciting of a shot. Like, it's cool that it's a one shot, but it's not really all that exciting. So like, I wasn't really thrilled to see the movie in the first place.
Yeah. Don't bother, dude. Yeah. Don't even.
What a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Maybe AI will do better.
I am hearing that Edgar Wright is teaming up again with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost for a movie. So I'm hoping
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm hoping if they do that, then maybe he'll rekindle that magic of his.
Yeah, the 3 of them need each other, I feel like, because when they're apart, like you get Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and you get Paul, which was and then you know, Edgar Wright by himself is still visionary creative, but he needs writing help. It's like the Simon and Garfunkel effect, right? They need to be together to have a perfect mix of music and lyrics.
Absolutely. I agree. So the last film, and I don't know if either of you had a chance to check this out, Heavier Trip, the sequel.
No, I wanted to so bad.
So let me say this. Heavier Trip is a good film. It's a good follow-up to Heavy Trip, and it really sets up what is the proper next step in like the next chapter of the band Impaled Rectum, who are, and I quote, the genre music, symphonic post-apocalyptic reindeer grinding, Christ abusing, extreme war pagan Finno-Scandinavian metal. There's a mouthful. So Heavier Trip has escaping from jail, finally recording an album, and then playing at Wacken. and it follows them as the person who wants to bring him to Walken kind of tries to change Impaled Rectum into making him sound more mainstream, more, more about making more money, not having that unique sound. I don't know why balloons just happened, but
I saw that.
but and basically the band kind of splits from the lead singer because the more changes that are made, the less Impaled Rectum it starts to sound and look. I will mention too, one of the big things about Heavier Trip is that Baby Metal are in this movie, and it's not just a little tiny cameo that Baby Metal are in. They're in 3 scenes in Heavier Trip, and on top of that, actually play something of a role in the climax of the film that kind of, brings the whole band back together.
Huh.
And
That's wild.
yeah, I will say, Heavier Trip does suffer from the whole, not as good as the first movie syndrome, but it's still a very fun movie, very enjoyable. I laughed a lot. The music is great. The performances were fantastic. And I kind of hope it does lead to what would maybe be Heaviest Trip. I don't know. If Walken was the goal for this movie, what would be the goal for the third film? What's the big metal festival?
Wacken is the big metal festival.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
figure out. You kind of can't get bigger than Wacken.
Yeah.
Sabaton Open Air.
Sabaton Open.
Sabaton Open Air doesn't happen anymore.
70,000 tons of metal.
Yeah.
It's the only way you'll get me on a cruise ship ever.
There's a thing. Imagine if Impaled Rectum escapes from prison and they get on the Sabaton cruise. That could be fun. That could be fun. But very enjoyable. I did like Heavier Trip. Again, not as strong as Heavy Trip, but for the story it told and the humor, it was a good time. It was a good time. I highly recommend it. You can watch. So this is the weird thing. You can watch Heavier Trip on Amazon Prime, but you can't watch the first movie on Amazon Prime. You have to go onto Tubi to watch the first movie, Heavy Trip.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So definitely give both.
I haven't seen either of these films. I didn't even know they were a thing.
Really?
I did know they were a thing because Evan's talked about it before, but but looking at the visuals and stuff from the movie, I was like, oh yeah, this is funny. Plus, isn't the guy who plays the lead character, isn't he on Instagram and TikTok and things like that? Is he the guy who has a daughter who?
I don't know, because I look into it. I looked into the characters and the actors. It's this is the only other thing that they've done is the Heavy Trip movies. So
maybe I have the wrong thing then.
Or you might have the right thing. It's like I said, maybe he is this guy that you're thinking of.
No. All right.
So leads to the last thing to talk about today. It is time to play the music. It is time to light the lights. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show tonight. At long last, Disney listened to the people and said, we just want the old Muppet Show back.
Yeah, it's too bad they couldn't get Kermit, though.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Woof.
Okay. Real talk. So I'm still not a fan of the new Kermit voice. So Jim Henson, of course, the OG was always great. Steve Whitmire was such a great follow-up. He was able to bring up Kermit's mannerisms in his voice in the same way that Jim Henson did. But Matt Vogel, So I saw this. Someone posts this on Twitter. It's you found the one guy who can't do a Kermit the Frog voice.
The voice of Kermit. It's like it didn't even. He didn't even sound like he was trying to do an impression. It just sounded like a completely different character altogether.
Right.
Yeah.
Like literally, you have a legion of people who basically boast in their Kermit the Frog impression,
Yeah.
and you choose the one guy who doesn't even sound like Kermit the Frog. It's weird.
It's so. I will say when he sings, he kind of gets it. He kind of has that voice. But like anybody can do Kermit. Look, hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here. There's my Kermit. John, you're Kermit.
I've never really practiced my Kermit, so this is going to be like new to me too.
Okay, go ahead.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows?
And what's on the other side?
Andrew, you're Kermit.
All right, here we go. Hey, everybody! It's Kermit the Frog here.
That's Rick and Morty Kermit.
Hey, it's Pickle Kermit. Kermit. Nah, I'm much better with like Skeletor.
I know you do a good Skeletor. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't. It's funny because it did feel like the Muppet Show. I think the show feels like the Muppet Show.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Which is good. Because I remember growing up as a child that the Muppet Show was boring, and I was like, "Yes, this is this show. This is incredibly boring."
Yeah, I have to agree. I don't think it hit any spectacular notes in any way.
And that's kind of the point of the Muppet Show is like they're this rundown theater troupe of sorts who are trying to put on a show, and it's not a good show. But that's what makes it charming is that they're trying. They're trying to make it a good show, and they're failing at every step of the way.
But
it's kind of funny because it's a good excuse for mediocre writing in a way, because somebody still has to write all these sketches,
right?
You know, and they could be amazing, but they're not. And part of me is like, well, do they just have like B-tier writers and their excuse for putting on a mediocre show is that like the characters in the show are trying to put on the best show that they can and it's mediocre? You know, I don't know. It really feels like that. How did they get Muppets Christmas Carol to be so dang amazing and they can't ever do it again?
Yeah. And like Muppet Treasure Island is like one of the funniest things you could watch.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And I mean, as a kid, I remember growing up and the Muppet Show would be on Nickelodeon and for as reruns. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's kind of boring. It's not really my thing. I think the best part of the show, the thing that I enjoyed absolutely the most, was the Beaker and Professor Honeydew sketch.
Yes. which this special actually had.
Yeah, and well, that's what I'm talking about is this one.
Okay.
And I mean, Beaker's always funny, you know, like the poor guy, like he's just.
But this one in particular was like a very good, you know, Beaker performance where he was so reluctant to do any part of what Bunsen Honeydew wanted to do,
right?
And like he was nervous. And it was almost as if like it wasn't the first time we were introduced to these characters. Like we're supposed to know, you know, who they are, and that was very obvious throughout the whole show. But like this one in particular was like we're supposed to know that Beaker is going to get hurt. You know?
Yeah. And isn't it ironic that it involves his eyes and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew just doesn't
have them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was not lost on me. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I did enjoy this Muppet Show. Like this is the closest that they have ever gotten to doing a proper Muppet Show since. Did you guys ever watch Muppets Tonight?
I remember Muppets Tonight, but I don't remember if I've ever watched it.
Yeah. Muppets Tonight was really good. I mean, while Kermit didn't host the show, he was like the backstage guy for it. They had some great guests. The comedy was still very much on par with what the Muppet Show, the original Muppet Show was like. And they had some really great guests on the show. So, which leads me to wanting me to ask you, okay, Sabrina Carpenter, the first guest of this Muppet Show reboot. What did you think of her as the first guest?
I thought she did her job. I thought that it was actually a pretty decent pick or spot for her, like, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea who she is. I don't know who any of these garbage Grammy winners are, but you know, I thought she was fine. I thought she did a pretty good job, and it was kind of the same way as seeing any other celebrity singer on. I mean, besides when they had what's her name from Blondie? What's her name?
Oh, Debbie Harry.
Debbie Harry. Like when Debbie Harry was on, and they had Johnny Cash on, and like they had some pretty good guests on the original Muppet Show.
Oh, they had a lot of great guests on the Muppet Show.
Yeah, and I in the same way that I didn't grow up in the 70s and 80s, and growing up as a child, I won't know who any of the guest spot singers are for the old Muppet Show. Growing up, I'm not going to know who any of these new guests are on the Muppet Show for like guest spot singers and stuff, because I don't follow pop music. Like, pop music is garbage. You know, if they won a Grammy, it's because somebody voted for them, and or some Academy voted for them, and they didn't actually make any good music.
Yeah,
I mean, I do kind of hope that if they continue on with this, and this will be part of our discussion, is like they'll get people besides the pop musicians, because the original Muppet Show, it wasn't just pop musicians. You had Alice Cooper on.
Yeah, they had Alice Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah. They had, like you said, Johnny Cash was on an episode. They had Bob Hope. They had like all the episodes are on Disney Plus. Go and watch them. They're all great episodes. Like, I will say, I did find it's interesting that we now have 2 Freaks and Geeks actors who have tried to reboot the Muppets in the last 20 years. Jason Segel did it with the movie, and now Seth Rogen is doing it with this. And I will say, it was funny that what Fozzie Bear tells Seth Rogen,
like that he's cut.
He's cut.
Yeah, it was a funny bit. I agree.
Yeah, I'm the executive producer. Well, you can tell yourself that we're going in a different direction.
It's not going to get me to like Seth Rogen, but it was funny.
Yeah.
All right, but the good news is, from what I heard, it was a smash success. It was the highest rated show that night it aired. Like, most people watched on any network were watching this new Muppet Show. So I'm hoping that means that we're going to get more of this new Muppet Show. I'm hoping that it stays true to the formula. I will say this. One of my complaints of this is they made it cinematic. They made the film look like a cinematic movie. Whereas when you watch the Muppet Show, it looks like it's a crappy kind of, not exactly a public access show, but
it looked like it was filmed in London, which it was.
Was. And I feel like they need to do that with this new version. Like, don't make it look like a movie. Don't make it sparkle. The Muppet Theater, which I believe the Muppet Theater is the main character of the Muppet Show. The theater itself. You gotta show that it's this nitty-gritty rundown theater that they're trying to put a show on. Because if you make it look pretty, if you make it look gorgeous, and it's going to lose a lot of the charm that the original Muppet Show was. My personal opinion. All right, so this now leads me to not exactly my final question, but who do we want in this new version of the Muppet Show? Who do we want to see show up as guests on the Muppet Show?
I was literally gonna say John Hamm, because it would make a great It would make a great pig sketch if
Yeah.
John Hamm was in like a Miss Piggy and
Or
Pigs in Space.
if they did Pigs in Space, yes. If they
Yeah.
put John Hamm in Pigs in Space because he was hired because his last name was Ham, it would be so good, so good.
yeah,
Yeah.
perfect fit.
Didn't
And he
one-
would do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Didn't one of you or like someone who wanted to make a movie with John Hamm or something like? We
Yeah,
talked about
yeah.
this in a Wicked Anime podcast show way back when.
I've started writing a script, for a movie, and I think John Hamm. I wanted John Hamm and Sam
Rockwell.
to be together in the script, but they're supposed to be like. It is a role kind of for like not young but younger entrepreneurs, so they might both be past their prime for the role that I want them to play, but they would have fit the bill perfectly at the time that I started writing the script years ago.
Okay. I mentioned Alice Cooper earlier, and I was thinking like there's no one currently that really brings that Alice Cooper motif quite like Tobias Forge from Ghost.
Yep. Yeah. I was
yeah.
thinking about that. Yeah.
Like
Everybody knows who Ghost is now. So.
Yeah, like Ghost is popular, just like everyone knew who Alice Cooper was, and still knows who Alice Cooper is. So, like, I can imagine it being an episode where, like, so you got Papa V, the current lead singer, but imagine if it's like an episode where Cardi C is trying to get on the Muppet Show and try to push Papa V to the side so he can actually have his moment.
So the problem I think with Ghost, right? So Alice Cooper's shtick is horror movies, shock rock, like that sort of stuff, and that is more of like a universal broad topic, as opposed to Tobias, who has a clearly religious connotation to his thing. And like, while I don't have problem with that artistically, I think that putting it on the Muppet Show would be a hard sea to navigate.
I mean, they back then people thought Alice Cooper was working with the devil, so like I don't think it would be that much of an issue.
I mean, that was a part of the Satanic Panic era.
Exactly, and the whole episode of the Muppet Show was about him trying to get people to sign a contract with the devil.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think it would have been an issue. I don't think it'd be a problem at all. I'm thinking Orville Peck would be a great guest on the show.
I mean, they do a lot of country. They do a lot of country in the Muppets thing. So Orville Peck could make an appearance.
Yep. Can you imagine, like, at the end when, like, but before we go, everyone has like a variation of the mask.
Yeah.
With the tassels. All right. These are a couple of my ideas. What are your ideas for guests?
The dog from Good Boy. It won a Golden Globe. He's big.
Yeah, like I don't really know. Like I could be like, oh, it'd be so funny if Sabaton was on the Muppet Show.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine like Yoakum and the Swedish Chef doing a bit together?
Oh my gosh, that is actually great. Oh my gosh. No, granted, I believe Tobias Forge is also Swedish, right?
Yes,
So
they're
like
both
that.
Swedish. But
Yeah,
the thing is, Tobias is like his Tobias isn't like his music is Swedish. Sabaton's music is totally Swedish.
Right. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I don't know because like I don't know who's like big in Hollywood necessarily. I mean, obviously there's some pretty obvious picks that you could just pull right out of the air, but like for me personally, I can't. Like, who would I want? Like, I thought that John Hamm would have been the perfect pick because of the Miss Piggy thing.
Yeah, I know. Me and Jonathan both like landed on John Hamm, not discussing it. Of course,
Yeah, we
like it'd just be really funny.
haven't talked about it.
I would say, okay, I'm looking at the Great Gonzo picture here. Imagine if you had like Johnny Knoxville and like him and the Great Gonzo try to team up and do the ultimate stunt together.
Yeah, or
That's
him
a
or
good one.
Steve-O.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. I don't know if
Bam
Steve-O
Margera.
could get on because Steve-O's stuff outside of Jackass is not family friendly in the slightest.
All right, fine. They'll get Bam Margera instead.
It's like him and Rolf the dog shooting heroin. Just like,
It's everybody else's fault, not mine.
I know. Put Baby Metal in an episode of the Muppets.
Yeah.
I mean, they're big enough now that they could do something like that.
They're essentially Muppets themselves.
You know, we had Lady Beard on the show, and that was like my last question. If you were a guest on the Muppet Show, what would your episode be? And he gave a very good episode, good answer, where Miss Piggy would try to take over the two parts of like his two cute sidekicks. Yeah. Suzu and the other one I can't remember the name of.
I mean, he would make for a great chicken, duet or encore, chorus of chickens, to go along with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so here's my last question. Okay, we know this will never happen to any of us, any three of us. But what if you got to host the Muppet Show?
I don't know. Because I don't have any on-stage talent, right? Like my talent is drawing. So,
I mean, we did have a personality of sorts when we did our panels for Wicked Anime.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's not like we'd be doing Wicked Anime on the Muppet Show.
Well, no, but what we could try to make things more hardcore, and it's like, no, you got to go harder.
Andrew WK on the Muppet Show. There you go.
Yeah.
Andrew WK on the Muppet Show would be so great. Like his return to media, like, yeah. His first appearance, and Andrew WK, he's back. He's on the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
I miss him.
I would say, when I was a little kid, always watching the Muppet Show, I always dreamt, like, oh, what if I could be a guest on the Muppet Show? What would I do? And, like, as you age, your tastes change. Like, maybe when I was maybe a little kid, maybe it was like, oh, I want to do songs by Huey Lewis or, like, New Kids on the Block or something like that.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah. But thinking now, and he would also be a good guest because he's still around. I think it would be such a thing that he would do where, like, his last musical performance would be on the Muppet Show. I would like to do songs by Tom Waits.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think if I was to do Telephone Call from Istanbul, which is a good kind of, like, showman kind of song, and then the song 219, which when you listen, it sounds like railroad workers, like hitting the rails and building the doohickey. Like, that could be the bit. And then the last thing I would love to do is a duet with Rolf with the song Innocent When You're Dream. And then just have a whole chorus of Muppets show up at the end singing the last part of it. That's the Muppet Show I want to do.
I would want to do a sketch where I would be being interviewed for a job with Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, but I would be asking him all of the HR questions that Beaker never thought to ask, and Beaker overhearing me ask these questions and realizing that he should have asked all those questions.
And then Beaker's just like writing all these notes down.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be so good.
Yeah. Yeah. What would this... I've always wanted to be on, what is it? Animal Hospital. Just the Animal Hospital sketches where Ralph, Miss Piggy, and Janice...
Right. I forgot about those sketches. Yeah,
Those were the best.
Those are funny.
Those are the
really
funniest.
Funny. Yeah. Although I have very distinct memories of Pigs in Space the most. But yeah, you're right. Animal Hospital was really funny. Yes.
So those, I think, would be how I think the Muppet Show should be, and I'm excited that this did well. I know we wish someone else was doing the Kermit voice. but like, I like the special enough where I feel like I could kind of overlook that now.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I thought that it was decent. I thought that it was on par with the other Muppet shows, which is a good thing, right? Like, because I mean, heck, everybody loved the original one enough to keep it around for as many years as it was around.
Yeah.
So the fact that they recaptured that magic, they can do it again.
Yeah. Just please, just don't Disneyfy it. Just keep the Muppets. Because this is the thing. Like, this is the thing that I hated about not the last show, because I did like the Electric Mayhem show, but the one they did previously, which was the Muppets Now.
Oh yeah,
which was
the Office style one.
Yeah, which was awful.
And
I
never even watched it.
Dude, I watched one episode of it, and it's like, this is not the Muppets. It's like, this is just TikTok videos with puppets. That's all it is.
Yeah.
The key aspect of what makes the Muppet Show great is chaos. Chaos. So long as there's a lot of chaos happening in the Muppet Show, it'll be entertaining. It'll be fun. Without chaos, it's not the Muppet Show. And it's got to be, quote unquote, unrehearsed chaos.
Right.
It's gotta feel like things are legit going wrong while the show's going on.
Yeah, everything they do is the first take.
Everything they do is the first take, correct. But yeah, all in all, good show. Good entertaining Muppet Show. And hopefully we will get more of it. And I just hope that it won't suck later on down the line.
Well, time will tell.
Oh, time will tell.
They removed the Muppet Theater from the Disney parks, so they can pull the plug whenever they want on the Muppets again.
Yeah. I am hearing that the new guy that's running Disney, I forget his name, but the old president's stepping down, new guy's coming in. He's a guy who loves and cherishes the Muppets. Who knows? He might be able to bring back Muppet Vision 3D in the future.
I hope that if they're going to do anything, that they change the Rock and Roller Coaster to Electric Mayhem.
Which is what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, but will they follow through with it? That's the question.
Well, they're saying it opens in July, I think.
We will.
They are. They've already worked on it. So, fingers crossed. All right. At long last, we have an episode of Duck Amuck in Japan that doesn't go over 2 hours. All right. Neatly done. Neatly placed. All right. So that wraps up this week's episode of Duck Amuck in Japan. And let us do our usual shameless plugs. Andrew, you go first.
Okay, well, if you want to check out what I'm doing, you can head to solariansun.com, where you can read my comic book totally for free. I'm pretty much almost done with volume 2 online totally for free, and these are all the beta pages. So of course, if you want to get all the good pages, you can head to patreon.com/AFLM, where I am currently posting up over 900 pages. And I tell you what, with all the pages that I've been doing lately, I have just finished page 1,000. I am currently working on page 1,001.
Very good.
You know, well, because thinking about that, you think about how much work that is. There's not even some novels out there. Like, some novelists have, like, when they write a book, they're not even 1,000-page books.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just with words. I'm illustrating. I illustrated 1,000 pages.
Yes.
And so if people can actually wrap their heads around how much work that actually is, it's actually. I'm impressed myself, being like, wow, I remember when I first started this project, I was like, isn't it so cool if I had like 150 pages or something like that? Now I've made 10 times that, so it's great. So if you guys want to check that out, you can head to patreon.com/AFLM. You can sign up totally for free, or you can support me as much as $5 as you want, and you can get every single page as it comes out as I finish them. usually 3 pages a week. And then with this, volume 5 should be out before the summer. As soon as this last chapter I'm doing is complete, I'm gonna send out for test prints, and we're gonna start marking up books, and we're gonna get ready for a new season of books.
It is my
Yeah.
favorite
So
part.
I'm looking forward to it. So Kickstarter around the corner. Then I might actually launch the pre-launch page for that soonish. We'll have to wait and see.
Very nice.
But either way, that's what I got. You can check me out on Instagram and Twitter at AFLM_art.
Nice. And of course, JonStar.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing anything as exciting as completing 1,000 pages of work, but I am drawing on Instagram at the line block, so you can follow me there. And otherwise, you'll find me watching the Olympics for the next 2 weeks.
Okay. And then for our listeners and viewers, find me KingBabyDuckESH on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Twitch, twitch.tv/Duckamuck in Japan, and facebook.com/Boston Mass Brigade. And remember, April 1st, brand new website, Duckamuck in Japan, duckjapan.com. B3 is coming to an end. So stay tuned, and hopefully you'll keep on enjoying what we're doing, because we're basically going to be doing the same thing at Duckamuck in Japan as we were doing at Boston Bass Brigade. It's basically it's just a name change. Just new website, name change, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. I do believe for the next episode of Duckamuck in Japan, we'll be talking about Steam Next Fest. The current Steam Next Fest, I believe.
I don't know. Steam Next Fest starts on February 23rd.
Really?
Yeah. So it might be the one after that. So it won't be the next one. It'll be the one after that.
Ah, crap. All right. I guess I got to find some material to work on for the next episode.
There's got to be something happening in the world somewhere.
Somewhere. All right. But until next time, this is your King Baby Duck,
AFLM.
JonStar.
reminding you, if you're going to chase your dreams, make sure you run amok.
Oh my gosh.
Did you get any good horse pulls there?
I didn't pull anybody today, but I did two like terrible runs of one terrible Sakura Bakshin run and one okay Ogre Cap run. So it's like it's kind of a disappointing. It's a disappointing day of horse girls, but at least I'm making upgrades.
All right. Okay, bye.
Hey, bye.
All right.